It's Barnes and Leslie. We are your Morning X. We, once upon a time, were a radio station in the 90s and 2000s, and all was good. And we had all these great bands. Who knew that the world would flip around and all of that would come back? And one of the founding fathers of that sound is right here with us right now, lead singer for Our Lady Peace. This is Raine Maida. Raine, what is going on?
Good morning.
I just got off the bus and I'm sitting on a beach.
Oh, nice.
The perfect way to speak with you guys. I love it.
That's perfect. Well, of course, you'll be here this Saturday night. Everyone's looking forward to live Collective Soul and Our Lady Peace. There's got to be a vibe. You know, when I was talking about how the 90s, don't you feel it?
Oh, it's amazing. You know what's crazy is the first time we met Collective Soul was at the 99X. I can't remember if it was we were either walking in the studio doing an interview or walking out and they were coming in. And it was just like, can't believe 30 years later we're touring together.
Yeah, they're kind of the house band. They're here quite a bit.
It is crazy to think, because you're all part of the DNA of 99X, that you're all out there together again 30 years later. Like, what would the tour have been 30 years ago? What would you guys be talking about, you know, backstage or whatever, as opposed to now, 30 years later? How much has changed?
I think I look back to even some of the music midtowns that you guys were involved in that were so incredible. It was more about the festival and the radio stations that supporting it. It was such an intense time that I don't think we weren't able to really appreciate it with the same amount of gratitude that we do now. I was talking to Ed Roland last night. I was standing side stage, and this is an amazing tour with three great bands from that era. And we had some fans that were wearing three girls wearing Our Lady Peace, on each other's shirt. And Ed just calls me out and he's like, "Man, this is such a beautiful moment." And so I thanked the girls. I did in my set as well, but Ed hadn't seen it. And so just even that, such class and such appreciation for that movement that happened, back in the 90s, and that it's still kind of, or it's getting a second, a resurgence today.
Well, you're one of my favorite vocalists, and I'm not just saying that. The passion in your voice and just really in your entire catalog, it's so interesting to me when you talk about the, back in the day versus now. What about, we're all aging. Although, Raine, you look exactly the same.
I know, it's not fair.
Everyone's aging. What is it like, and I'm going to say aging rock star, being on stage now versus then? Then you're young and stupid, right? But what is it now? You talked a little bit about the psychological part, but what is it like physically?
I mean, I think we definitely take care of our bodies more. I definitely take care of my voice a lot better than I did. I've tried to just become a better singer over the years, and once you hit that, it's very freeing. I used to be just a wound ball every time on stage, and now it's now there's a zen, a Bruce Lee, be water quality to it, and so I'm actually able to kind of sit back and enjoy it more and be a bit of a voyeur. I escape on stage every night, and now I get to kind of see that as well, which is I like it a lot better, to be honest. I remember the shows, I remember the moments.
We're talking to Raine Maida, Our Lady Peace. We haven't talked to you in a while, and I've always wanted to ask you this question, Raine, because I love your music. But you had this great song called Stop Making Stupid People Famous. Was that based on all the reality TV stuff that started to come out, 10 years ago?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you follow the breadcrumbs going back to even Paris Hilton, this was always a concern in my psyche of well, where does this lead to? Because now you're just taking people and propping up to these incredible proportions in terms of their cultural significance without a lot there behind the scenes in terms of what they're offering. And then, we end up here where we are today, and we kind of, the quote radio, we did it to ourselves. So the idea is how do we pull back from this? And that was the easiest kind of way to maybe make a statement was we just need to stop making stupid people famous. It's definitely a fun song. We did that record with Dave Sidick, which from TV on the Radio is one of my favorite bands. Yeah. So that was a trip. That was amazing.
Well, some congratulations in order. Some people may not know that Our Lady Peace hails from Canada. 5 number one singles, over 360 million streams, and congrats for just getting inducted into the Canada Walk of Fame.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's pretty trippy. There's a lot of great, from Neil Young to Leonard Cohen Joni Mitchell. There's so many incredible musicians, but also like all the actors. You know, like that's the cool thing about the Walk of Fame is different than like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, where it's like there's astronauts on there and incredible doctors. You know, so it was a trip.
One of your songs that you guys just re-released, I'm curious the backstory, the song Whatever, which you guys kind of distanced yourself from earlier when it was originally out, and after that. I love the song. I saw you re-recorded it, and I know that it was part of kind of an ugly cloud. What made you kind of full circle back and push it out again?
Yeah, you know, Barnes, is like we recorded that song in 2003, I think, and we met Chris Benoit, so the WWE came to us and said, hey, Chris wants you to write his theme song for his entrance, you know, when they come out. And we did, and we met Chris, and then, you know, just a crazy tragedy happened, you know, a murder-suicide with Chris a few years later. So we never really played the song live. And we, you know, we just didn't feel it was right to have that song in a set.
Yep.
Time passes, and it's funny because it's in our top 3 of most streamed songs in America for the last 15 years. And so it just felt like, okay, this is a song that people are listening to. How do we approach this? So felt like, let's re-record it. I changed some lyrics, really talked about the mental health aspect of it, because I think that had a lot to do with the tragedy. I think we, you know, just as a culture, we talk more about mental health, trying to tell friends there's people, you know, have to suffer in silence, try to, you know, end stigma. So it really just has that spin on it now, and it gave us the agency to start playing it again. We redid it when Nick Raskulinecz in Nashville. It sounds much better, to be honest, in my opinion. But again, like tweaking some of the lyrics, and, you know, every dollar that we make from streaming will go to suicide hotlines across America.
That's great.
We've been talking about it every night on the Live and Collective on the Summer Unity Tour. And it seems like people are ready to maybe talk about the mental health part even more, because the crowd reaction is really strong. So it feels good. It feels good to bring it back and to shine a light on that mental health component.
Yeah, it's a great way to use it in a very productive way. So kudos to you for doing that.
Well, thanks.
We're talking to Raine Maida, of course, the Summer Unity Tour with all of his friends. Raine, we are big fans of Chantal, your wife. We love her. We supported her back in the day. But now you've got a son who's getting into music and has released music. Did you ever try to discourage him, or were you like, okay, go for it?
They do every day. They say, don't do this.
But here you are doing it again.
You know what? You know what's amazing? Because you realize it wasn't for my son Rowan. It was never about, oh, I want to do it. He is a musician. Like, he is an artist through and through. And once you see that and recognize like who an artist is and how it's like inevitable for them, whether it, and it doesn't equate to fame or any of that stuff, but that's his essence. Like, that's what he wakes up to doing, is to write songs, and that's where he gets the most joy. I don't think he won't do social media right now. We did an EP last year. He pulled it. I'm like, okay, whatever. You know, it was up on all the streamers, and he woke up one morning. He's like, I don't like this, and pulled it. And I think that is the sign of a true artist. Like, he is he's now with some really great people in LA helping, you know, manage him and record, and he's recording songs kind of as we speak. So I think he's finally comfortable with where he is, where his songwriting is, because he does it all. Not that he won't take help from people, but he is very determined and stubborn to make sure that his music is his. So
that's
I'm excited
awesome
to see, you know, what the next year goes from. Because
it's in the
he's
genes.
taking his time. He's where everyone else is trying to just get famous right away. He's been really thoughtful in his art and how he approaches it. So I have big respect for him.
Very cool. Well, Atlanta is ready for Our Lady Peace this Saturday night, of course, with Live and Collective Soul. I just played Somewhere Out There before the interview. Now I want to be selfish and play the song that just made me fall in love with Our Lady Peace. And please tell me you're playing Starseed Saturday night.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my God. We close with Starseed, of course.
Yes.
The energy.
Yeah, for sure.
The build, the drama in this song is so freaking badass. Raine Maida, thanks for taking time to chat with us.
Thanks, Raine.
Leslie Barnes, I love you guys. Thank you so much.
Love you.
See you this weekend.